Hi everyone, my name is Anna. It has been so long since I've made a video. I've been incredibly busy, but I feel as though my busyness was kind of put on pause. I just feel like a message has been placed on my heart that I really want to share. I'm sure there are plenty, at least one person out there who might need to hear it. So to preface this, over the weekend, a role model of mine, news came out that she had tragically passed away. She took her own life, and I didn't know her personally. I looked up to her, I followed her on social media, and as someone who has struggled with depression, anxiety, suicidal thoughts, suicidal attempts, self-harm, it was very eye-opening and humbling. One, that so many people are experiencing this, and two, that even sometimes when I feel alone and isolated in dark seasons, I am not alone, and so many people are suffering with mental illness. That is kind of the preface of this video. It's going to be really short. I want to share words that I have learned over my lifetime, I guess, that have helped me when I'm in dark seasons, and they might be helpful and comforting to someone else who is experiencing or suffering with mental illness. I also need to preface this by saying I am not a licensed professional health counselor by any means. I am trained in pastoral care, but that does not make myself a counselor, and the message that I'm going to share is not it's going to fix everything type of message. I think that our brains and our emotions are so beautiful and so complex, and that complexity just can sometimes be more bad than it is good for some people, especially when it comes to balancing emotions and mental health. I think that seeking professional help is the best thing that someone can do, so because of that I wish I could help everyone find professional help. I'm just going to share some links below. If you are thinking about seeking professional help, do it. I think that you are not crazy for doing it. You are actually incredibly brave. So check out the links below if you want to seek out professional help. So I don't think I'm wrong when I say that mental health is at an all-time unhealthy stage. We can see that when we look at our youth, teenagers, young adults, people of all ages are truly struggling with mental health. So the first thing I want to share is that no matter who you are, no matter where you are, no matter your past or what might be ahead in your future, your life is a life that is worth living. Sometimes we get stuck in saying, oh, if I only had this, my life would be it would be a life worth living. Or if I could afford this car, if I could afford this house, if I looked like this, then my life would be a life worth living. Your life, the way you are living right now, who you are, your life is a life that is worth living. And I know this because the second thing I want to share is that you are deeply loved and you are cherished. I am saying this from a position of faith. I do have faith in God. I have faith in Jesus Christ. And through this faith, I believe that the creator of the earth, the creator of the sky, of the stars, of the galaxies, the creator of the grass, the smallest things that we can imagine, the creator of the earth knows who you are. He sees you and he loves you. And he loves you so much that he sent his son to come and be a human and experience that. And his son didn't come as someone who was a king, someone who had money, someone who would have the life that was worth living, kind of like we say. His son came as a humble servant. And his name is Jesus. And when Jesus was on earth, he saw people like you and me. He saw people who were hurting. He saw people who were struggling with their mental health. He saw people who were sick, and he loved them. And the same stands today. He loves you exactly who you are and where you are in your life. He loves us so much that he essentially said, your life is a life worth living, so I am going to give up my life. Your brokenness is worth it to me, that I am going to die on a cross so that you can live. I think that there are so many more elegant ways of saying that, but that is essentially the gospel truth. That is the message. And if you already know Jesus, I hope that is just a reminder that you are loved and you are cherished. If you don't know Jesus yet, by inviting him into your life, it is not going to change all your life situations and all your life circumstances, but by inviting him into your life, you will not be alone. And you're not alone right now. God is with you. He will walk through the darkness with you. And that is the second thing I want you to know, that you're not alone. You are loved. You are cherished. And the last thing I want you to know is that your life is worth living. You are loved, and you don't need to know what it will look like in 5 hours. You don't need to know what it will look like tomorrow. You need to know what it will look like next week, a year, or in 5 years. It's so easy to get caught up in the past. And it's so easy to get caught up in not knowing what the future looks like. But the only thing you need to do right now is just to take the next step. So that might look like taking a deep breath. It might look like going and getting a glass of water. I'm not saying that taking the next step is easy. Sometimes that's the scariest part. But that is all that you need to do right now. Just take the next step. I don't know who is going to watch this video. I don't know if it will be shared or it will be just pop up on your feed. But if you are watching this video and you are not someone who struggles with depression and anxiety and mental illness, I have a quick few things for you too. I've been seeing people say, check in on the people, check in on your friends. Checking in on people is definitely the right thing to do. And there are ways that might be more effective than others. When you choose to check in on someone, instead of saying, hey, is everything okay? That's a really simple yes or no question where someone can just say, yeah, not really having to wrestle with what they might be feeling. So saying, how are you doing is a good way of asking, even bringing light to some of the things that they are facing and asking, how is your depression? How is your anxiety? Inviting yourself into the space, because it can be so hard for someone who's facing that to invite others into the space. So just invite yourself in and sit and dwell in that space with them. Continue to check in. Don't just check in once and never check in again. Continue to check in, especially if someone chooses to confide in you and share things with you. Another thing that I've witnessed and experienced and even done myself is, instead of asking, is there anything I can do for you? Say, what can I do for you? What do you need right now? And then follow through. They might say, hey, please check in tomorrow. Please check in next week. They might say, I really need a hug right now. They might say, can we just FaceTime for a little bit? And do that. But if you say, is there anything I can do? It's really easy for someone to feel like they'd be placing a burden on you by asking you to do something. So go ahead and enter that question, what can I do for you right now? I think that simple phrasing difference really says that it's not a burden and I want to be here to help you. And finally, the last thing that you can do is that if you say you're praying for someone, pick up the phone or FaceTime them or text them a prayer. Really, I would say pick up the phone or FaceTime them and pray over them in that moment. Saying that you're going to pray for someone and then it either slips your mind and you don't do it, or they don't really, maybe they just think, oh, everyone says they're going to pray for me. Take an action step and actually do it. It can change lives. Prayer is so incredibly powerful, and you don't need to know the right words to say. You just let them know that you're actually truly praying for them. So just like it might be scary for you to ask someone and step into that space with someone of how they're doing, it might be really scary for someone to admit that I'm not doing well right now. We don't necessarily live in a time, or in the United States, we don't live in a context where that is popular to admit that we are struggling. But taking those steps and asking questions and showing people that you care could truly save someone's life and change someone's life. Like I said, I'm not a mental health professional, but these are some of the things that I wish I could have heard years ago, and things that I will probably return to in my future. I'll repeat it again. Your life is a life worth living because you are deeply loved, and just focus on the present. Take that next breath and take that next step. And just do what you need to do right now. Overall, my heart is deeply sad for those who are suffering, especially those who are suffering in isolation, and those who have lost their loved ones, family, friends, idols from mental illness. The Lord loves you right where you are, and He is with you right where you are. And because the Lord loves you, and I love the Lord, I am also called to love you. So even if I don't know you, and I might never know you, I do love those that the Lord loves, and I'm expressing my love through this screen. And if you need to reach out, I will express my love in any way that I can. But just know that you are loved by the Lord, by myself, and by so many other people. So that's all I have. your life is a life worth living. You're deeply loved. Check out the links below. I'm gonna try to link a lot of resources that I think would be helpful. And yeah, be kind and love others. And I quickly I didn't do this in the beginning, and I don't really want to go back and record this all over again. The young woman who took her life, her name is Chelsea Christ. She was incredibly talented. I know her as a former Miss USA in the pageant world, and if you are suffering from the loss of Chelsea's life, I am so sorry. Hug your friends and hug your family today if that's what you need to do. My prayers and condolences go out to all of those, especially Chelsea's family and her close friends.